Hi guys, it's Kishan and I'm back with another video. For most of you, this will be the year that you are going to camp for the first time. So I worked at the Camp America Fair and honestly I had an amazing time. I got to meet some of you guys and give you guys some advice, and I just thought, why not, spread this advice with everyone. I asked a few of you on my Instagram what kind of stuff you wanted me to cover. So this is my video on advice for people going to camp for the first time. Let's get on with the video. So we are going to start with research. It is so important when looking at camps or camps reaching out to you that you research. Know where you're going, what facilities are on site. You don't want to go there and literally be shocked, like, why do I not have hot water? Like, you want to know what you're getting into. So little things like laundry. Like my camp, we had a laundry on site, which is perfect. Like on my time off, I could just go do my laundry. Some camps do not have laundry on site. Your laundry goes off site. So you only have a certain day, like on Friday's your laundry day, and you can't just wash whenever you want to wash unless you want to, hand wash your clothes. Literally little things like that. You want to know, you want to make sure that you're going to be sorted because you're going for literally nearly 3 months. You want to know you're going to be comfortable. Is there aircon in the cabins? Is there like any places nearby? This is a good one. Like, are there any places nearby? I was so lucky that down the road from my camp, like a half an hour drive, there was like a Walmart, there was a Five Below, a Goodwill, there was a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, a Burger King, there was TJ Maxx, TK Maxx, but they call it TJ Maxx. There was the Samaritan charity shop, there was diners, there was places to eat, bar, places to go out. You don't want to be in the middle of nowhere, and you also want to know, if you are in the middle of nowhere, how are you then getting to these places, and is camp providing transport to these places? I was lucky. My camp, like I said, took us places on days off. They took us Six Flags. They took us to, what's the place called? Like a water park. They took us to a mall. They took us to an outlet. Transport was provided and we were basically sorted. Even nights off, they took us to Walmart. They took us to the local bar. Transport was sorted for us, So you want to make sure and ask your camp, like, what are we doing on days off? How do we go about days off? How do we get to these places? No question is a silly question. Like, honestly, never feel stupid. If you've got a worry, please email your camp and just ask them, I'm just a bit worried about this. Or, if you've got a group chat, hi guys, any returners, this and this. Like, there's so many Facebook groups out there that have got returners in like me, that we're often answering questions and giving advice. So please, like I said, if you've got a worry, ask your camp or ask a returner from your camp, just because you don't want to go there feeling uneasy or unsettled. Another thing I would ask about is days off and nights off. You want to know how many days off and nights off you are getting during your time at camp. Because for me, I knew that during the first week of camp and the last week of camp, there was no days off. Yes, there was nights off, but no days, just because the first week is intense and the last week is intense. So, I knew that. So when I got told that at camp, it wasn't like a shock to me. So you want to know that the camp you're going to has enough days off and enough nights off to cater your needs. If it doesn't, please don't accept it, because camp is very, it's hard work. And you want to know during these days off and nights off, you're having enough breaks during the week, have enough time to, relax, downtime, call family, and do not feel like obliged to accept the first camp that contacts you. You want to, because you think, right, I need to take it. Like, what if I don't get to go anywhere else? What if I don't? If you research that camp and you're like, actually, no, it doesn't suit me, like, you can reject them. There is so many camps out there. There will be a perfect camp for you. So please do not worry and don't feel like you should accept them. Like, if something feels off about that camp, don't feel like you should take it, because that's the worst thing. Like, as soon as I had my interview, I was like, yeah, this is the camp I want to go to. I was getting good vibes, I was getting good energy, and I was like, I want to have a really good summer. If something feels off, please don't force yourself to be put in that position, because you do not want to have a bad experience at camp. You're in a completely different country. It's an arm and an ache to get all the way back to the UK. You don't want to put yourself in that position. So please, like I said, research your camp. Make sure you research laundry, days off, nights off, where it is. You do not want to end up like in the desert. You don't want to end up like in the forest in the middle of nowhere. And if you are, how long does it then take to get somewhere like Walmart or to a shopping outlet or to something? My camp was located 2 hours from New York City. but because of COVID we couldn't go into the city, but we can this year, which I'm excited about. But like just that little thing, like we're 2 hours, you know, there's a local train station that we can go to which takes us into New York City, you know, just little things like that. You want to be able to be somewhere where, you know, on your days off you can get away from camp, relax, go to the beach. Like we had a beach, it was a fake beach, but it was like a beach. You know, you want to be somewhere where, you know, you're going to be comfortable and you're going to be able to have fun, because camp is also about you having fun as well. Another thing that I would advise is researching whether your camp picks you up from the airport or not. Some camps do require you to make your own way from the airport to camp, and this can be quite difficult if your camp is not close to the airport and no Uber services or anything like that can actually make their way to your camp. I was lucky enough, like most camps, quite a lot of camps, they do pick you up in the airport, which is fab. You just have to be there by a certain time. So my main things is to research the location of your camp, the days and nights off, like if they take you anywhere, and the camp pickup as well, if they pick you up from the airport. And finally, little things like laundry, showers, living facilities, all that kind of stuff. Next topic I'm going to be covering is money. A lot of you have been asking me, how much should I bring? What should I bring? Cash or card? Blah, 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 blah. So I bought around 2,300. I bought 300 in cash, and I had the 2,000 on my phone in my account I could transfer to my card. The reason I brought some cash is because even though my camp had an ATM on site, it did charge me to take money out. But also when you go to the bar and when you go to like restaurants and when you go to places like Walmart, you want to have little change that you can just, you know, hand out tips or flip about. You don't want to be tipping, like scanning your phone or scanning your card, you know. It's easier to have some cash on you. Also, my camp had a vending machine and places where you could buy snacks and stuff for like $1 or $2. It was handy just having them dollars, like instead of then going to the ATM to draw out $5 and then having to pay a £3 charge. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just easier if you've got cash on you, like I said, especially when you go to places and you want to buy food, like I said, or tip people. It's just simple to have cash on you. I did a lot of traveling after camp. So what I did was when I got paid the $900, I saved 500 and put it into my UK bank account and my savings. And then the 400 I then added to the 2 grand to travel with. Like I said, at camp you don't really spend that much money. It's just on stuff like snacks, days off, buying food on days off, and paying for days off, etc, etc. Like when we went to the water park, it was like buying food there, and Six Flags, it was about like paying for your ticket there and whatever. So most of your money goes into traveling, because obviously you're getting fed at camp. Like, do you know what I mean? We could even go on a day off, have breakfast at camp, and then on you come back from your day off, you're then having dinner at camp. So we had to only pay about lunch. Like, so it was simple. While traveling, you're catering for yourself. So that's when most of the money gets lost. If you go onto my Instagram, you will see my highlights and you can see wherever I went. I went to like Miami, Philly, New Orleans, Washington. I went to a music festival. You know, it was fun. You want to have enough money so that you're financially like okay and financially able to do stuff. Because while you're at camp, you're in these moments where you're like, I might never get this opportunity again. Like, you don't need to be like, I've only got this much money, I don't want to do that. Like, I went to a music festival for 2 days, it was £100 a day, and I was like, you know what, that's £200, yeah, but I'm what's the chances I'm going to be able to do this again, like with my best friend that I've made at camp? So you want to be in that mentality, in that space where you can buy stuff, treat yourself, you know, reward yourself and have fun without thinking, okay, I don't have enough money to do that. The best thing you want to do is, you know, plan traveling, and all your friends are like, I want to go to this place, and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, you know. So I would say whatever fits in your budget. Like, don't feel pressure to have a huge amount of money. Do you know what I mean? I did a full month of traveling, so I knew I had a whole month of providing food for myself, paying for accommodation for myself, paying for transport for myself. So that's why I saved a big amount, because I knew I'm going to have to look after myself for that long. If we're staying like 2 or 3 weeks, like, or a week even, I don't think you need that much amount of money. So my advice for money is bring some cash. Have a card like you can have on your phone, which is so much easier, you know, be able to tap around. My camp did pay us on a card as well, which if you've got a card, one that probably has a phone where you can have it on your Apple Wallet, so it's so much easier. And also have like a Sterling, a Monzo, or Revolut. I think they're like some really good names to have a travel card with. If you watch my previous video, you know that I struggled with that kind of stuff. And do what's best for you. Don't feel pressured, you know. Do what's best for you. Have so you feel comfortable and that you realistically know that you can bring to camp. My next topic is packing. So many of you know I overpack. Like, I love clothes. I have so many clothes. So I overpacked. As you can see, again, I use vacuum bags because I had so many clothes. But yeah, obviously your camp will send you a list of necessities that they think you need. But for me, there were some things they kind of missed off, because this is just a generic list that gets sent to the American counselors as well. Definitely. You need some kind of joggers, some kind of leggings, some kind of hoodie, some kind of long sleeve, because at night it can get chilly. And also at night, the bugs tend to come out. So usually at night, you might be like at a campfire, whatever. You don't want to get bitten. Like, I'm definitely bringing this to camp next year. Just a nice, like, sort of long sleeve kind of thing. A tracksuit even, so you can have a hoodie or joggers and a long sleeve top. Just the fact that they don't say on the list, because to them, like, they're used to that weather, while we're not kind of used to that weather. So I definitely recommend it. Bring long sleeves, bring leggings, bring joggers, bring hoodies, bring zip ups. Your camp might have a hoodie, like a staff hoodie like we did. So I literally lived in that. It was great. But yeah, it does get cold, especially if your camp has like a lake, because the breeze from the lake, like that also goes for pajamas too. Because you think, yeah, I'm going to a hot country, like I need to have shorts, I need to have vest tops. Yes, bring them. But also my camp had aircon in our cabins. So the Americans are used to having aircon. I wasn't used, and a lot of people, like, we don't have aircon in our house. So at night it could get chilly. So I had pajamas that were also like long sleeved and like bottoms, like, you know, pajama bottoms. But I also had some shorts in case some nights I was hot. So just bring a range of pajamas. Like, don't just think I need shorts and a vest top. Like, also think, have a long sleeve, have some pajama trousers. Socks, you need loads of socks, because, you know, socks go missing at camp. When you wash your socks, like, you end up with like someone else's sock or like one sock. So lots and lots of socks. I had these fluffy socks so I could put them on at night time, so my feet were nice and warm, nice and toasty, because I love being warm. Like, being warm is my favorite thing. So I was like wrapped up like this. But yeah, so pajamas, have a range of long sleeve and short sleeves, have a range of joggers, leggings, hoodies, zip ups. Also for girls, like, I had a lot of t-shirts, which I was like, didn't really like, because I thought my camp was a non-uniform camp. So during the week we wore our own clothes in the camp colours during timetabled hours, and then on the weekends we wore our staff shirts. I wore a lot of t-shirts and I didn't really like them, because I was just hot and sweaty. So this year I'm definitely bringing vest tops and tank tops, because we were allowed to wear them. You know, you want to be comfortable, you're going to be working all day, you don't want to be sweating and having sweat patches and whatever. So yeah, girls, bring some tank tops. You know, boys, bring some vest tops. You know, them kind of tops that are like vest tops. T-shirts as well. We were allowed different colours, as long as they were red, black and white during the timetabled hours. But then I did not know this. In the evening time, you can wear whatever you want. So I didn't have enough clothes to really go around in the evening, because I thought all day we had to wear our camp colours. But in the evening time, you can just wear whatever colour you wanted to wear. So it was like, I ended up wearing stuff I'd bought for days off in the evenings. So I definitely know I need to bring some more casual clothes. So that's why I'm saying like a tracksuit or like some joggers and a nice top, you know, is nice. Also for nights out, bring a pair of jeans. You know, you can't go wrong with jeans, honestly. Bring some nice going out tops. Most camps sort of have a prom as well. So you kind of want to bring a nice prom dress, or boys, you might want to bring a nice button-up shirt, some nice trousers, you know. There was occasions on camp where it's people's birthdays and we wanted to dress nice as well. Leading on from dressing up, actually, I would advise, if you've got a football shirt or a jersey, do bring them. Most camps tend to have a jersey night or an event where people wear jerseys. You can literally get these off Depop, like, or Vinted, actually. Like, literally you can see like some are like £8, £10. I'll actually show you a few of mine. So here's a few of mine. Like, I got this from a charity shop, and it's actually in a really good condition. That was like £10. This was like £6 as well, of Vinted, you know. And this one as well, I think was like £4 in a charity shop, a thrift store. So, you know, it's, I'd say if you've got a jersey or even a football top from your local football team that you support, bring that, because there's going to be an opportunity when you can wear it. They're also like great material as well. Like, not these ones, but I have a Chicago Bull ones, which fits in with my camp colours. And like, I just had a nice sports bra and some cycling shorts underneath, and it was quite a fit because, you know, it's breathable. If you're sweating, you're not showing sweat patches. So that was like really, really nice. I feel like definitely if you've got a group chat with your camp, ask like what theme days you've got. Like, we had a Hawaii night. so I need to bring a shirt. A lot of the things like colour war as well, we obviously the camp splits into red and white. Booty new because we got told to bring red and white stuff, but just check with like colour war. There might be like certain colours you might need to bring. But the thing is, there are American counsellors there, which literally they drive in or fly in from home, so they tend to have a lot of stuff, as they don't have to worry about like having one suitcase like we do, or two suitcases. So sometimes they're like really up for sharing stuff, and you know, they've got face paint, and the kids will also have loads of stuff. Like they have these massive trunks full of stuff, and I'm like, I wish I could bring 2 trunks full of stuff to camp. But they've got face paint, and they've got little like stuff like beads and stuff for colour wall. But it's also nice to kind of bring your own stuff, like if you even like an eyeshadow palette, like literally a cheap one with different colours on, because you're gonna have times when you're gonna do fancy dress or wacky dressing, or just like random fun like neon events. I know we had a neon night, so it would have been nice like to bring some neon stuff. They did have neon paint, but you know, it would have been nice for me to have some neon clothing that I could kind of bring. So I'm definitely, you know, bringing some of that stuff for next year at camp. Another thing I would say is also bring some clothes you don't mind getting dirty. Huge mistake for me. Like during the first week of camp, we were painting, we were sweeping, we were cleaning up. I had my nice top on that I got paint all over, my Jordan shorts that I got paint all over, and I was literally so mad because I thought the paint would come out and it wouldn't. So please just bring like some old clothes that you don't mind getting like dirty paint. Also at camp, there's events like we had like a colour run where people ran and they chucked colour powder at you, and we had a slip and slide. So there'll be events at camp where you're gonna be in messy wear, so just bring a few stuff like an old t-shirt, an old pair of joggers or shorts, or things that you don't mind getting messed up, because you know, no matter what camp you go to, like I said, there's going to be a time when there's some sort of messy or slime or something where you're going to literally, your clothes are going to get destroyed. I would also advise having these kind of mesh laundry bags. I bought some off Shein. They sell them in the range, I know, because I saw them in there. They see these bags where you just put your laundry in it and then you zip it up and then you put that bag in the washing machine. So this meant that like when you're doing your washing and say you leave and you actually forget about it, like I did so many times, if someone was to take your washing out of the washing machine, number one, they're not touching your underwear and all your clothes and like matching it and missing out half your socks. They're just taking the bag out, which has got all your clothes in. So then you know, like, you're safe. Like, you know, all your stuff's going to be together, especially for things like socks, like I said, that go missing so easily. You know, having that zipped up in the bag, you know, all your socks are in there. When you take them out, all your socks are going to be in there, rather than pulling all your clothes in and then someone taking your stuff out, leaving half your stuff in there, your t-shirts, your stuff, putting their washing in, then taking your stuff like your t-shirts, and you don't want your clothes to go missing. So they were literally so cheap, but for me they provided security, because I knew like my tops are all in there, my bottoms are all in there, my stuff is all in there, and it just keeps everything together. So my top tips for packing is make sure that you bring some cold wear, so like joggers, hoodies, leggings, that kind of stuff. Make sure you bring a range of pajamas for cold and warm nights. Make sure that you get some kind of laundry bag. Couldn't recommend them more. Like, these mesh laundry bags are insane. Like I told you, they're so good and keep all your stuff together, and they are very cheap. 4, make sure you bring some kind of like jersey, sports jersey. Like I said, there's going to be an opportunity on camp at some point to wear these. And 5, make sure that you bring some clothes that you don't mind getting ruined, destroyed or dirty for messy days. I would also recommend, if you've got the chance, to try and keep your stuff you want for travelling separate from the stuff you want at camp. Like, a lot of my clothes I kept separate for travelling, so I had outfits for travelling. I don't want to then ruin them, so when I'm travelling in the same top for like the next 5 days. So make sure you kind of, you know, if you can, bring some stuff where you're like, okay, I know I'm definitely not going to wear that at camp. That's safe for travelling. That's going to be something I'm going to wear when I travel around or go around or whatever. Like, a lot of the stuff at camp I bought from Primark, from like Boohoo, from like literally cheap brands. So I knew like if I, at the end of camp, I just chucked them in the bin, left it, or actually donated it. Our camp had a little box of donations, so that was all right. So yeah, definitely kind of work out with your stuff if you can. Like, okay, traveling, yeah. Camp, yeah. Because if you know that you're going to do a lot of shopping in America, and you know you're going to want to buy stuff, especially when you go traveling, you tend to buy so much stuff. Make sure you've got the room to bring it back, because honestly, I did not have the room to bring it back. My suitcase was overweight, but luckily I didn't have to pay to bring it back. But just know that, like, okay, I'm going to leave my hand luggage purely for like stuff I buy or whatever. Or yeah, so if you know you're going to buy stuff, make sure you've got the room to bring it back. That's something that kind of goes over your head. So maybe even one of your hand luggages basically bring practically empty, or bring your suitcase half empty or whatever. Just make sure you've got enough room. Also, when thinking about hand luggages and suitcases and what you're bringing, just be aware that if you're traveling and you are getting on flights, you're only entitled to a hand luggage. The time you get on a plane from one destination to the next, you will have to pay. So like, for example, New York to Miami, and I had a big suitcase, I have to then pay $50 for that suitcase. Then the next day, another $50, and the next day, another $50. And yeah, so just be wary that, you know, if you've got a big suitcase and you might have to be paying each way, that's why some people get on a coach or a Greyhound or do a road trip, just because you don't have to pay for little stuff like suitcases. But also be aware, with all your luggage, you're going to be travelling around with it. You don't want to have 1,000 things on you and you're travelling, you're walking the streets of New York with 1,000 things on you. The next topic I'm going to cover is flights. So for many of you, you know that I did the Camp America flight option because, you know, it's my first time ever flying alone. And we just came out of COVID, so I didn't want to stress. Like, I had COVID tests to be stressing about, getting the jabs. Like, you know, the last thing I wanted to do was really stress about flights. You do pay a bit extra, and in my previous video I kind of break down why it costs that much. So with the extra money, you're actually paying Camp America to then have someone sit down, look at the flights, research flights. They get in contact with your camp and make sure that when you land in JFK or wherever you're landing, it works out with your camp. Because I was lucky, my camp was in New York, so I didn't have to do a connecting. Like, some people will go to New York and then they'll go from New York to so-and-so with Camp America flights. You'll do a connecting. Well, like I said, my camp was in New York, so it was easy. I just flew straight there. Obviously, you know, the flight money did come out of my wage, so I ended up with $900. But I already explained how that was like okay with me to add to what I'd previously saved. Yeah, so Camp America do work with your camp to ensure that you get to the airport on time for your camp to pick you up if that's what your camp does. Another thing I would say is, you know, make sure that you know about your camp's pickup policy from the airport. Like I previously mentioned, some camps may pick you up, some camps don't. So obviously, when I chose the Camp America flights, it was nice. You will get on your portal something that looks like this, that will have your flight information. You might not be able to book in on the flight airline app, just because Camp America do group booking, so they book like a bunch of seats together. So when I went to the airport in the morning, we met up with people from my camp that got put on the same flight. Like I previously mentioned in my other videos, we all got put on the same flight, so it was really, really nice. We could, you know, check in together and do all that. And we actually all sat next to each other. So there was a girl next to me going to my camp, a girl on this row, that whole row all the way back for like 4 rows was just people from my camp going to camp. And the captain made a nice announcement like, I know there's some people on board that are going to Camp America, we wish you luck, blah 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 blah. So that was really nice as well. So for people that find it uneasy to travel and like have never done it before, it's nice to have that comfort and have that knowledge, knowing that there's a chance someone that might be going to a camp, even someone that's not going to a camp, there was other people going to camp on my flight. You know, you're not going to be alone. You will know. I tell people, when you get to the airport, you just know people that are going to camp, because they'll have a big rucksack or loads of suitcases and they'll be hugging their parents and their parents will be crying. You won't be alone, which for me provided comfort, considering I'd never travelled alone before. That's the reason why I chose to do Camp America flights. Now, as a returner, I'm doing my own flights. I'm like, yeah, I got this now. I know what I'm doing. I travelled and did flying with my friend, organised that all ourselves. Like, I'm cool now. So, you know, obviously doing your own flights can work out cheaper. Speaking to people at camp that did do their own flights, when they actually minused how much they paid for their flights out of their wage, they ended up with literally the same amount of money as me. So that was just them saying like, oh yeah, you know, my flights did cost this amount of money. When I minus that from how much I've been paid, I still end up with like $900, which is the same as me. So I think, down to personal preference, if you're willing to do and book your own flights, you know, it's hard, but it's not that difficult, you know, you can do that. But if you want that little bit of comfort, that little bit of safety blanket, I would advise doing the Camp America flights. Obviously, when we got on the flight and we got to the airport, after we checked him and everything and went through security, went through immigration and that, we had a meeting point. Our camp organised a meeting point at the airport, and we sat there and we spoke and got to know each other, which was really, really nice. Because like I said, being on that flight for how long, 9 hours, however, we really got to know each other. And even like booking in with each other, a girl that went to my camp, we actually stayed in the same hotel the night before. A lot of people from our camp, like we had a group chat of everyone on that flight, and we kind of, like I said, met in the morning, spoke. We really got to bond with each other before, which, like I said, was nice. Anyway, when we got to the airport, we kind of just sat down, we spoke, played Uno, and then during that time, different people who booked their own flights came to the meeting point. So we started off from this small group to like this huge group of people that are going to camp. And like I said, it was nice because we got to, you know, sit and talk to new people, like, oh, you're from Edinburgh, oh, you're from Australia, oh, you're from New Zealand, etc., etc. Obviously at a certain time our camp came, we did COVID tests, they picked us up, and then we went in a minibus on our way to camp. And when we arrived at camp, it was nighttime, and we got put in our temporary cabins for orientation. So yeah, so it's nice when you get to the airport, you kind of, your camp should give you a meeting point that you go to, and you kind of, like I said, sit there and you get to know people. The next thing is cameras, phones on camp, etc. So this kind of falls into the research part, like knowing about your camp's phone policy. So at my camp, we could have our phones with us in the cabins and stuff, like we would set alarms on our phones and stuff, but we couldn't literally just be sitting there on our phone while like the kids are fighting each other, or like we're meant to be teaching. Like, you obviously have to be, you know, self-aware and be aware about stuff. I was a videographer on camp, so I walked around with a camera and I controlled the camp's TikTok. So I was able to have my phone on me all day to take videos and take footage for things. Also, depending on your division, some counsellors will be required to take photos of the kids doing activities, because especially with the younger camp, their parents have a WhatsApp group where their parents get sent these photos of their kids doing stuff as well. So yeah. But some camps I know have a no phone policy. You're not allowed your phones on you at all during the day. Like I said, we had Wi-Fi all around camp, which was great as well, which worked out. We could, you know, go to the staff room and FaceTime home when being homesick or whatever, which I thought was great. And also, like I said, if we needed to send each other anything, like we had a WhatsApp group where we would send updates to each other, or there'd be a meeting, we'd be able to just check on the WhatsApp and be able to know. If you can, get a disposable camera or get a digital camera. They're so fun. Like, it's so nice looking back at disposable pics because they look kind of like retro and they look like, the vibe is just amazing. So yeah, you can literally get a digital cam like at a car boot or on eBay for literally £10 or whatever. So I'd recommend bringing a disposable, a Polaroid or a digital cam to camp. It's always nice having the memories on your phone, but then having them as physical prints as well is also really, really, really great to look at. There's like a Polaroid device where you can actually print photos from your phone to the device and they print out as Polaroids, which are also very, very cool. But yeah, I'd bring a camera, definitely, especially if you're not allowed your phone. You want to make memories, you want to captivate memories. So all the kids had disposables and Polaroids, so why can't you? The next thing is traveling after camp. I know a lot of people, including myself, were worrying before camp. I did not pre-plan. Like, I was just going with the flow. So, you know, I was thinking, like, what if I don't make friends to travel with? What if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? But honestly, like I've said in my previous videos, everyone makes friends. Like, everyone will make friends at camp. And, you know, you'll find someone or people that want to go to the same places you want to go to. And they kind of just, you know, sit down and you kind of just plan it. And if you're going to fly, take a bus, you're going to do a road trip, whatever. That's how traveling kind of works. Everyone kind of gets together in the staff room, in their friendship groups, and everyone kind of sits and plans the Wi-Fi in camp. Like I said, we book. I would say if you get the chance, definitely visit New Orleans. Like, you don't need more than like 4 days there, 3 days. I spent 3 days there. It was so fun. It was cultural. It was nice. You know, I did the alligator tour, which was really, really fun. And I got to try all the like New Orleans food and hear the jazz music, which I really, really enjoyed. So, you know, obviously people have their places they want to go, like, but when you get to camp, you realistically have to sit down and be like, can I afford to go to all these places, and do all these places theoretically work out? Like, if I'm here and I want to go to this state down here, I'm then gonna have to pay, but then the next state is up there. Like, actually work out. Like, this year I'm going to LA, I'm going to San Diego, I'm going to Utah, I'm going to Arizona. They're all kind of in the same area, so I know that traveling I can actually bus it, or like, you know what I mean, or the flights will be cheap because I'm not going from there to there to there to there to there. So you kind of have to like theoretically plan it out, but you kind of do that at camp. Like, don't stress about it now. Like, that's something you can worry about. Like, at camp you have enough time, like I said, to plan and do traveling and do all that kind of stuff. The next thing I'm going to cover is friendship groups. So basically, I was worried I was not going to make any friends, but honestly, it's so easy to make friends at camp. Like, I was looking back on my photos, like, by the third or second day, I'd already locked in with friends. Like, you're already locked in. You're all going through the same experience. It's insane how close you get to people. Like, I was telling people things at camp that I've never told anyone. Like, you're with each other 24/7, so you're bound to make friends. Like, doing activities together. My camp had like different rotations of different groups, and you do that with this group of people, but the next activity you'll be with this group. So there was a chance to meet everyone during the icebreakers and everything. Obviously, your days off, you're with people, you will guarantee you will make friends. And like I said, it's honestly insane. Like, it's like when you watch shows like Love Island, you're like, how can you be this? How can you be that? But when you're at camp, you actually understand, like, you're with these people for so long. You're spending 24/7 with these people. You're waking up, you're going to bed, you're eating dinner. You know, friendship groups form so quickly. You'll experience it when you go to camp. Do you know what I mean? My next topic I'm covering is self-care and mental health at camp. So basically at camp, it can kind of get a bit tiring and a bit overwhelming at the start, because, you know, during orientation, you're kind of getting to know counsellors, and the kids come and it's a massive change, and it's very hard work. Like, there's going to be days when you're going to be so tired, you're going to be drained, you're going to like be homesick, you know. I'm not going to lie to you, there are going to be days like that, but you have to kind of just push through it and see the positives about it, which can be very hard sometimes. So honestly, I'm saying, during your times off and days off, spend it wisely. Surround yourself with your friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be going on these big days off, because they can be tiring. Like, going out to a theme park, you're having fun, but they can be really tiring. Traveling there, having the day, coming back. Do you know what I mean? Some days you can literally stay on camp. I know some people that spend their day off just sleeping in the staff room. You know, use your days off and times off quite wisely. Don't think you have to go out every time. Some days, me and my friends, we went stargazing at camp. Like, we just went and looked at the stars, had an ice cream at camp, chilled around. Another day, me and my friend, our nights off, we went in his car, we went for a really nice drive, and we just spoke, and we went and got ice cream. You know, it was really, really nice. Don't think on these days off and nights off you have to be full on doing everything, going out, going full out. You know, if you need time for yourself and just some settling down time, you know, don't feel afraid to just just chill, go on camp, like, sleep. You know, if you're friends with an American person who's got a car, or a friend's car you can borrow with a full license, of course, that you can drive there, go for a drive. Like, honestly, it was so nice being able to sit in a car while my friend drove and just talk and play music and just have a nice debrief. Like, you know, even one day, me and my friends, we went thrifting, we got a Taco Bell, we just relaxed. And then we went back to camp and we got on the boats, on the paddle boats, and we just was on the lake, just talking. So, you know, don't feel pressured, like I said, to go on these big nights off. If you need a break, have a break. And please, if you're going through anything at camp, please tell someone, tell your senior management, tell your friend, tell anyone. It's really, really good to speak to people. Yeah, so make sure you don't suffer in silence. You know, the worst thing you want to do is go to camp, be overwhelmed, and not have a good time. If you're feeling tired, drained, or I just need to take a break, like I said, tell someone. They'll be able to help you. Just do things with self-care at camp. You know, you are at camp, you are there to work. There could be even days you go without even showering. So bringing things literally like baby wipes are good, so you could like freshen yourself up. Obviously, like, buy deodorant and stuff there. You know, if you have a certain routine at home, think how you can adapt that to camp, because you're not going to be able to literally do your full-on night routine, cleansing, this, putting this on, putting that on. Even like at camp, barely anyone wears makeup. So, you know, just be prepared that you want to bring stuff like nail clips. Oh my gosh, yeah, bring nail clippers, because your nails will get long. You can buy like nail polish and stuff there, like a nail file as well. Little things as well, like hair. A lot of the boys' hair got really, really long, and they started to form beards and stuff. And we're actually lucky, one of the girls out of camp did barbering, so she was able to give the boys a haircut. But just be prepared, for things like that. Obviously, girls, regarding hair, like your wash routine. Obviously, I've got braids in my hair because of my hair type. So, you know, that was something I had to think about before going to camp. Just preempting, like, getting my hair, my braids, how I'm going to manage my hair at camp. So doing that, I brought like bandanas, and I brought stuff that I could wrap my hair with, you know, a shower cap to shower with, so my braids didn't get messy. Think about how I'm going to like put my hair up when I go in the pool or whatever. You know, just certain things like that you've got to think about depending on who you are as an individual. Things, you know, that you're usually just comfortable at doing at home that, you know, in America you might not be able to do. So make sure if you've got little things, like, obviously, like I previously mentioned, for myself, all my sort of hair products that I need, my hair gel, that kind of stuff that I know that I probably wouldn't be able to get in America to my convenience. Make sure that you sort of have them things with you. Like, that, for me, that's necessities that you need to pack, that, you know, things, you know, that you might not be able to get in a flash at camp. Moving on to that subject, I would like to talk about being a person of colour at camp. So there was other POCs, counsellors at my camp that made me feel so comfortable, even though I was never in a position to feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and honestly, for me, there was no issues. I didn't experience any racism. I didn't experience any segregation. I didn't really experience anything like that. Honestly, like, skin colour at camp didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. And I didn't, like I said, experience any issues like that. So yeah, I just thought I'd cover that because a few people were asking me like what it's like being a person of colour at camp. I think this also comes down to, you know, researching your camp and making sure that you're going to be in a place where you're going to feel comfortable as a POC. Make sure that you can go there feeling comfortable, that you're not going to come across any issues. And if you research your camp and you like I said, have a group chat and you see other counsellors that are POC who have been to camp before, feel free to drop them a message and ask them about their experience. So girls, if you like to bring makeup, I'd say bring travel size stuff, or like don't bring up the best of the best, because obviously on like nights off and like prom and stuff, you want to dress up, you want to look nice. But like I said, like I was in an overnight camp, so I was sharing the cabin with kids. So stuff like if I drop my mascara, I might never find it. Not because it's been stolen, but because it's been like rolled under someone's bed, or someone's accidentally kicked it there, or it's gone in the bin by mistake. Like a lot is going on in the cabin. The kids are living in there, you're living in there. People's stuff are everywhere, basically. So you don't want to bring something really like you spent money on, like money, and it goes missing, or it's broke, or it doesn't, like it's dried out, or whatever. So just bring like, you know, something like you don't mind, like if it gets lost or whatever, or you can, you know, you can replace it at Walmart, or you can replace it somewhere else. Go to camp and be your 100% authentic self. And I believe what you put into camp is what you get out. If you're willing to put your 100% in and you're willing to get to know people, you know, at times at camp, you're going to have to be doing something stupid or something silly, something goofy. If you're willing to just, you know, release of it, let go in full force and have fun, you're going to enjoy camp so much. If you hold back and you're like, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to look stupid. No, I don't want to do that. I feel like you're limiting yourself. You know, it's an experience. You're having fun. You also want the kids to have fun. Do you know what I mean? Camp is also about you. Or be friends with people that you wouldn't usually be friends with at home. You know, like I said, you know, what you put in is what you get out. So guys, that is the end of the video. I hope I kind of gave you guys some advice that you can take on board and hopefully help. I'm thinking that this might just be like part 1, and I could probably do another part because there's so much things I could tell you about camp and advise you about. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, obviously. Make sure that you follow my TikTok and my Instagram. Also, yeah, my TikTok. Wait, what? How am I on 14k? Like, I'm so grateful, guys. Every video I make, I go up by a substantial amount. Like, I'm so grateful that I've been able to share my experience at camp and, you know, bring joy to others through making videos. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to comment them below. I hope you're good. I hope you're excited for camp, and I can't wait for my next video. See you guys soon. Over and out.